Words are hard when you're not writing them. Okay. So I'm Catherine Daly. I was a professional and technical writing minor, and I am currently an AmeriCorps service member working at Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. My job title is Communications Content Specialist. So my minor from the English department really helped me. I use it every single day. I write different things, different materials for the public, for internal communications, for other coworkers. I'm writing stories to, develop our brand and promote our mission. So I write every single day. So I chose the professional and technical writing minor because I knew I enjoyed writing, and I knew that I wanted to go into a communications or marketing role at some point, and maybe graphic design too. I wasn't too sure, and so this minor really gave me the ability to work on my writing skills and be able to just develop professionally before I even graduated, and so that's kind of why I decided to go in that direction. I hadn't decided on a minor until I think after sophomore year, before my junior year, and I heard about professional and technical writing, and it seemed super interesting. So I decided to take a class, and I kind of just kept taking classes and decided that was my minor, and it was great. It's a little bit smaller of a minor, so you're able to get it done if you didn't choose that minor right away, freshman and sophomore year. I think once I graduated from UW-La Crosse with a major in communications and a minor in professional and technical writing, there's a whole world out there of careers, and if you're not sure what you want to do, it can be a little scary. But with my minor, I think a lot of people were very intrigued when I, gave in my resume or I applied for a job. People were intrigued to hear more about my professional and technical writing minor, and the skill of writing is very needed and wanted at any organization. So when I started at Feeding America, I've heard people say, "Oh, you have a background in writing. Do you want to look at something for me? Do you want to edit something for me?" And so it's been a good skill to have on my resume. So one of the things as a senior in college and graduating, I wanted to be in a career in a position that I was able to help people, whether that was working at a nonprofit organization or I just really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And one of the things, cool things about being an English minor was we got to work on service projects. And one of those projects was with a place called Cholita. And Cholita is a place for young people with development and behavioral challenges. And we got to work on the staff there. We got to help promote or recreate their website. My specific webpage I worked on for them was their history webpage, and kind of gathering their history and creating a timeline just for people to look on their page and see what they're all about. It was just a service project just for the class, but I knew that I was doing meaningful work in a way, and that kind of led into what job I got after school as well. And so in my current position, I actually got to do that at Feeding America, is redesign their history page and make that look and sound accurate and correct, so people can look on that page and know the history of Feeding America. So in my English classes, we had lots of opportunities to explore and talk about diversity issues and social justice issues. And I remember in one class, a survivor of sexual assault came in and told us her story, and it was very hard for her to tell and for us to hear. But after that, we got to discuss and talk about different strategies for talking about and communicating and writing about difficult things, either to inform other people, to advocate for rights, and I remember it, and it was very influential, and it was awesome to hear. And so it was fun and cool being able to talk with my fellow students about writing about those hard things. So as an English minor, a lot of the projects that we worked on in class were group projects, and we got to use a lot of different technology tools to help organize those projects, to help us communicate within our group. And that just helped me create productive productive habits when working in a professional workplace. And I really learned that so many different projects that I'm now doing professional in my career are also group projects, and we're using these different technology tools to be able to finish those projects in a productive way. And so I really learned that in my English classes. So the professional and technical writing minor actually requires an internship to get credit for. And what I did, I had a communications and development and event planning internship with the Mississippi Valley Conservancy. That's a small nonprofit here in La Crosse. And so I got to get credit for that. I got to kind of learn more about the nonprofit world. I got to help with plan their fundraising gala. And so, and I'm still in contact with my supervisor in that position. So that just kept opening up career opportunities for me in that sense. I was a marketing and communications outreach intern for the English department when I was here at UWL, and one of the projects that I worked on a daily basis was writing different materials, marketing materials, to promote the English department in different ways for different events or different speakers to put around campus. So just creating those materials and writing so to keep the general student population informed about those different things. So as an intern for Downtown Main Street La Crosse, I created a resource guide for different companies and organizations in downtown La Crosse for them to get an artist to create a mural for their building outside. And if an artist was interested, they could connect with the building owner, the company owner, and figure out what they wanted to, create a mural of on the building. And so it was a very extensive resource guide that I kind of had to figure out how to write. And I'd never created a mural before, so figuring out paint materials and all of that stuff to put the resource guide together was really interesting. And I used a lot of my technical writing skills from the classes here to figure out how to put that together. So that was really interesting. At Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin, I'm the communications content specialist, and one of the big roles that I have is being the storyteller. So I go around and I talk to different food pantries that we assist, and I talk to people that get food from the food pantries, and I ask them about their story. I ask them about how they're being helped or how they're helping people, and I get to listen to those stories and then write them and put them on our blog, on social media, in different newsletters, and that's just promoting our mission and telling the general public or stakeholders or donors what we're all about at Feeding America, and that takes a lot of writing skills and communicating skills, and so the English department helped me a lot in developing those writing skills. One thing that I've learned as a professional, very quickly I've learned that you're going to be writing and communicating every single day. So no matter what job you land after you graduate, you're going to be needing to write emails and communicating clearly, whether that's with your boss, with other coworkers, or with outside people, clients potentially. You're gonna be using what you've learned in these classes every single day in the professional life. So in my role right now as a communications content specialist, I am in a very flexible, adaptive role. So I'm doing a lot of different things, from event planning, working on different small projects, to writing stories for newsletters and blogs. I'm constantly emailing different people to coordinate projects. So for example, the most recent project that I'm working on currently is creating a historical timeline mural to go on a wall in our warehouse at Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. And so working with an outside client and working with my supervisors and putting all of that content together so that we can get a great design to put on the wall, so that donors or volunteers that come into our building, they can see our history, and they can see our mission very clearly on the wall. And so that's a great project that I've been working on that's involved a lot of communicating with a lot of different people. One of the ways that I've used critical thinking in my professional career has been thinking about different ways that different audiences think about the work that we're doing at Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. So some people might have a different opinion, or if I'm writing something for a donor, they're going to want to know how the money that they're donating is being spent. But if I'm writing something that's more geared towards a volunteer, then they're going to want to know what activities they can do. How are those volunteer activities helping people that are food insecure? If I'm, writing for another coworker, I need to communicate clearly with them what they need to do so we can get a project done. So I think that's a lot of critical thinking skills, and thinking about how I'm communicating with different audiences is very important.
We're at UWL?
Yes. I think the English professors here, especially the ones for the professional and technical writing minor, were so helpful and so encouraging with my next step as a grad. They really wanted to see me succeed. And they were always willing to say, hey, come to my office hours and let's look at your resume. Let's talk about your professional portfolio and see, what kind of jobs are you looking for? They're always very encouraging, and they're still very encouraging now to just help me be successful. So when you hear English major, you might just think becoming a professor, becoming, an English teacher. But as an English student, you are constantly, reading different texts. You're thinking about the writer of those texts. You're thinking about how to communicate different things to other people. You need to have those critical thinking skills, and that all comes to play in no matter what position you're in. So there are definitely some misconceptions about the English major or English minor, but as I've only been in the workforce for 2 years now, I can definitely tell you that having either of those majors or minors on your resume is definitely needed. When I have my English professional and technical writing English minor on my resume, everybody is so intrigued when they talk to me in an interview. They're like, "Oh, tell me more about that." Some advice that I wish I would have taken would be to try to job shadow people. And I think, if you're going into a marketing communications role, they'll definitely tell you that writing is super important, and communicating is super important. And so I think job shadowing is a huge thing. Trying different classes out is another big thing. Um, and just trying to take opportunities where you see them. And so if you see an internship that might be a little interesting to you, try that out, and just find what you love doing.